Now, we're into winter months, and basically if you get a chance to fish for grayling, small jig head patterns are ideal. Flies like the Duracell, quilled version of this quill that I do well, Fezzy tails, Hare's ear, there's quite a few. And main sizes, the type of size, this is a nice hook here from Fulham Mill, the Jig Force hook in black nickel. This is quite a nice size, got a nice gape on it, good strong hook. Though the flies should be simple, the easier to tie the better, because you do lose a lot. So you basically got to, what I do is I tie a bunch of flies before I go, then half the time I come back with less than half of these flies that I've tied. So it's a very simple patterns. The Duracell's a great fly, simple. The Fezzy tails, again, very simple, different colours, main colour brown, and the Hare's ear. This one that does well for me, for a lot of fishing. This is a size 16 jig head. The bead I'm going to be using, I use gold. I'm going to tie, these are ones for Fulham Mill. It's got metallic brown. It's a lovely colour, it suits the fly as well. I'm just going to give it a go. This is a 2.8mm tungsten. Obviously you put it in the small hole, goes on first. These are slotted, so I prefer obviously the slot to the back, out the way. The thread I'm going to be using, the fire launch thread, and this is for a small tag at the back. Just a wee hot spot at the tail, and I like to use it for that. So the first thing we do is just run the wax through, get it started. So see, it's a very simple dressing. We start at the eye, and we come down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in some tail fibres, just a natural brown. You can use Coq de Leon if you want, but this is just a natural brown Hackle. Don't be shy with the fibres, 90 degrees from the stem, should line them up. And what you do is you just simply tear them away, and then we'll tail on. Now you're looking, I usually like at least the sort of shank length. So we tie this on the top. Normally I would trim this away, but I'll basically do it now. See, I've tied it in. I'm just checking my length. It's just slightly short, so I'm just going to make it a wee bit longer. You can always go back, and the way down I like to tie in fibres like this, it's easier to do. Just wind to the back of the hook, I usually turn underneath the fibres. What it does, it just opens the fibre a wee bit. And then I'm going to form a small tag with the thread, just a wee aiming point. And then I've got a small tinsel, gold tinsel in this case. I've used pearl, I've used silver, they do work. Gold's is my favourite with the Hare's ear, so basically cash it in. Now the first thing I'm going to do is just going to run the thread up quickly and back down. Now the Dublin blend I'm using is an old blend that I did myself many years ago. And basically what it is Hare's body fur and American fox squirrel, red fox squirrel, just blended together. You could use whatever you like. This was just like with a Hare's ear, there's not many fibres on it, so if you can get something that's as good, that's a good blend. So basically we would double in. Don't be shy, just lightly double in, slide it up. And then we get it started, so we start to put the anchor point onto the hook with the dubbing, so we can then tighten to that point if we need. It's got a nice sort of body-like shape. Point a leg, so we just wind up. You drop more at. Now the hackle, you could use a hen hackle, brown hen, or I'm going to use some CDC for the hackle at the top. Before we do that, I'm going to bring up the rib. Just work your rib up through. Nice and tight. I like it to see the tinsel sitting into the dubbing, so you want enough dubbing on so you can see it sitting in. So I'm just folding it back, and then you can cut away the tinsel or break it off. Just bend and break it away. Just trimming away any longer fibres. Now we've got some, basically this was a white CDC feather. I'm going to show you the packet. There we are. Now I basically dyed this white CDC to get this colour. you'll see there's a kind of a cinnamon in within this, so I dyed it a light cinnamon, and then I put a touch of black, a touch of black dye into it, and this is the colour you get when you do that. Now this was my idea of trying to get a turn of white CDC feather to a natural colour. Now it just looks very natural, and this is a great colour combination that works with this fly. Now these are the small feathers, a domestic CDC. It's not the best in the world, like with the wild stuff. It's got much fuller fibre in it, but these are great for hackles. So what I'm going to do is tie this in by the tip. Now, as I say, you could use a natural brown hen or so, do what you like, but the CDC fibre is very mobile. Make sure there's wax on your thread. Just make sure you tie it in. And back to my dubbing, just a tiny bit of dubbing. Slide, dub it on. Just wind it quite loose like, because you're winding these through, so you get a nice blend or mix of the fur and the CDC. Take away the longer fibres. And then wind the CDC further through. Now, wind it till you've got enough fibre. And I'm winding it through that small thorax up to the bead. Because you can always pinch it back. Best to put enough on so you can do that. It looks very long at the moment, it is, so what we're going to do is make sure it's tied in. Trim away I'm just folding it back a wee bit, and then trim away the stem. See how the legs are sitting. If you say they're a wee bit long, you can always pinch them back quite easily. Pinch them back to within the body length. Again, we could put a wee tiny bit of dubbing just to tidy up. Just onto my thread, and not much there, it's just to tidy. Wind in front, then in this case I'm going to get some super glue. This is a full mil super glue I'm using, it comes with a brush. It's easier to apply onto the thread. Do 1, 2, 3. Now there's super glue there, so you can wind, you can whip over it, and then tie off. And then that. Now you leave that to set. What I normally like to do is I like to varnish, use a clear varnish onto the bead, and so let it not just flow towards the thread. Puts a shine to the bead as well. And there we are. And that's a very simple nymph or jig head with a CDC wing, or a CDC hackle, sorry. As I say, you can mess about with it, but you tie these up really quick. You can reduce the fibre length if you want. Keep it long at first, because it does swim really well when it's in the water. It obviously is going to sit with the bead obviously down, the opposite of this, slightly up, so you could tap it off the bottom. Now it's not working unless it's doing that. So as I say, the good combination I like is with this is a tan Duracell with silver bead. You can either have this in the point and that in the dropper. There's different ways of presenting them. The fish will go for them. And this is a good colour. And that's just basically a hare's ear CDC hackle type fly. As I say, simple to tie and great to fish.